Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, we're going to be talking about transit north node, sextile, or trine one's natal moon. Now, this transit could manifest in one's future, destiny, mission, purpose, what you're directed toward, what you're aspiring to be, can be in harmony with your emotional needs, your mood, how you're feeling. I'm going to elaborate and expound on that. This is a time when you have more, likely have more of that mood, that right temperament to pursue your future. The harmony is more likely to exist between where you want to go, what you're aspiring to do, at this point in time, and how you feel as far as doing it. Now, if the transit north node is in, say, Sagittarius, it could be something connected with sports or philosophy. It could even be printing press operation. It could be doing something where you're just simply expanding your horizons in general. And this is also a time, when you have this transit, it could be a time as well, where you feel more, if you're trying to, like say, have more of a family, this is the time where you might be more directed toward this, or as far as activities go with your family. If somebody needs you, say if you have a debilitated mother or father, and this is the time where your future may be more connected with that, and it can be auspicious for taking care of those matters that are associated with whether it's a mother or father, your family in general. If the family is in need of you, this is a very an opportune time, to be doing something associated with it. If you're whatever you're aspiring to be at this time, this could be more in harmony with your family, with people you're close to home with. Could also be prominent women in your life at this time. If the natal north node, if the natal moon is in Aries, as an example, it could be those people may be Aries sun moon, or have an Aries sun moon or ascendant, or embody those characteristics as an example. It can also be a time as well when this transit takes place where your future, it's more, it's likely to be more auspicious with your mother, your home, your family, people you're close to home with at this point in time, more so than ordinarily would. And it's also about, if you're trying to do something that's in connection with your emotional needs, this could be more of a propitious time for doing so. Going back to Sagittarius as an example, let's say if the natal moon is in Sagittarius, those emotional needs can include sports, the outdoors, expanding horizons, adventure. It could be something connected with humor, if you want to be trying to do stand-up comedy as an example. Or if the natal moon, say, is in Aquarius, it could be something connected with astronomy or astrology or computers, innovation, rocket science, meteorology, aviation, as some examples. It can also be a time as well when this transit takes place, you may be more directed toward just general activities and actions, again, with your home, your family, people you're close to home with. It might be a positive time to be doing things public, as an example. It can also be, if you have any issues that are anatomically connected with the moon, such as something with the stomach, the chest, the breast, the ribs, even water retention, or the left or right eye, depending on gender. It can be a time, if you have any issues that need to be addressed in those matters, this could be a time where it could be very positive forward. If you had procrastinated or hesitated on any of those issues, this could be the opportune time to do something about it, where you feel your future is strongly dependent on and predicated on taking care of those issues in order for you to move ahead. It can be a time as well, when this transit does take place. It's very positive transit, with your future being connected, with the unconscious side of you, side of you that you might not always be cognizant of, that you may be expressing. If it's something going to the moon in Gemini, it could be a very versatile, so I could say that again, versatile, diversified side, multifaceted. Somebody that's is quick-witted. I mean, um, somebody could be someone that's dexterous, loquacious. This could be the time where that energy could be very strongly, it could be very positive in matters that are associated with your future, your destiny, what your mission and purpose is at this point in time. This doesn't supplant, your natal North Node position. Of course, that's something that's constant, consistent. But when you have this in transit, this is something that will, at this point in time, you might feel a little bit of a pull toward doing something during this transit that is connected with the transit of the North Node. And some you may wonder, what is the difference between this and the conjunction transit? Well, the conjunction and the sextile and trine, of course, are comparable, but they're not precisely or exactly the same. The sextile and trine is flowing. It's a positive, auspicious transit. But, the conjunction is neutral, has good and bad qualities to it, and it's more intensifying and integrating. It's at a point where when you have like a conjunction, can have some good qualities in it, but what happens is it can be very intensifying to the point where you might become oblivious to other things in your life, where everything is can be so strongly connected with that with the transit, such as having your future being so tied into your family, as an example, with the conjunction, to the point where you become oblivious to everything else. Could be to the exclusion of other things in your life that also may need attention at that time. So anyway, but it's also a time when you have this transit, it's about your responses are very can be connected with where you're going, as far as your future goes. And it's about being able to respond the way you need to in matters that are associated with your destiny. If you feel a certain calling at this time, it's a positive time in order to react and respond to it, because the moon is reactionary, it's responsive. And it's also, again, connected with the public, as I was stating before. It could be a very auspicious time, if you feel you're directed toward doing something with the public. Say if the natal moon is in the zodiac sign Cancer, it could be something associated with food or restaurant work, or laundry or plumbing businesses, some examples. And the moon is also connected with safety and security. So it may be a time, if you may feel you're directed toward, maybe you could be doing something, either whether it's a position connected with safety, or it's something where you need to feel safer. It could be in a home situation. This could be a very positive time for getting that safety and security that is needed for you at this point in time, where your future may be strongly tied in to having that safety and security in your life, more so than usual. Now, this transit could also be positive for moving toward, which is the North Node, what you need, which is the moon. Now, let's say, for example, again, if the natal moon is in Sagittarius, those needs can include something sports related, outdoors, higher education, publishing, advertising, adventure, as some examples. And also, too, this could be a very auspicious time for to pursue what you feel your purpose and mission is, which is the North Node, for your home and family, which is the moon. Now, let's say, for example, if the natal moon is in Capricorn, it could simply be things connected with structure, business. It can be could just be having, maybe a conventional home. And also, too, at this time, people that I should say, sorry, the thing about this is people prominent in your future, which is the North Node, can be more in harmony and agreement again with your unconscious side, which is the moon. Hold on a moment, people. If the, let's say if the natal moon is in the zodiac sign Cancer as an example, it could be that unconscious side could be very nurturing, protective, sympathetic, nostalgic, sentimental, as some examples. And it could also be a time where it's propitious for what you're learning and aspiring to be, which is the North Node, and being assisted by prominent women, which is the moon in your life. Now, if the transit North Node is in Libra, maybe you're trying to do something connected, to be more diplomatic, equitable, or even a Libra type profession, such as doing something with the law, fashion design, art, something with human resources, working as a diplomat. As some examples, even as far as sports go, tennis or gymnastics, that's associated with balance. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.